unpack. We unpack. We unpack. Coming to you live, Boxingego unpack. Yeah. We unpack. We unpack. We unpack. Coming to you live. Canelo Alvarez has he's gone too far, y'all. He wants a 20-pound rehydration clause with Badu Jack. We got to talk about the safety of the fighter, man. What up, Fight World? It's your boy Ego, and I'm back with some more boxing. Now, I know some people, they say, just give me the news, Boxingego. Why you got to say I told you so? Because I told you so. And if you don't like it, then scram. Get off my channel. Nothing is ever going to change, and I'm still going to be me. That's the beauty of YouTube. I told you so. The great Ego Stradamus strikes again. If you don't enjoy hearing that, then you don't enjoy hearing the truth, because I am that. He is I and I am him. I told you about Canelo Alvarez, the diva mentality, the persona. The man has paraded through boxing for several years, acting as if he's a god among men, and made all kinds of egregious choices. I mean, he fought Triple G, yes, credit to that. Hell no, guys, hey, Max, it's big drama, guys, his punch is nothing. Right, I get it. He fought him, but the part people leave out, even though he fought him 3 times, he really didn't fight him the exact time frame where people really wanted to see it. He waited till Triple G got older and a little bit older, and then he fought him the first time. Triple G and Canelo had been a conversation for at least a year, year and a half, possibly even 2 years or longer before they actually fought. And I was at that first fight. You know, Canelo relinquished his belt and said he was fighting Liam Smith as opposed to fighting Triple G. People don't tell the complete story. So Canelo's past is littered with these various things. The double standards, which I'll get to in the back of this video, is out of this world. Now, I made an introduction video. Badu Jack has come out and said that Canelo wanted to fight him 20 pounds south of actual cruiserweight, but still wanted to fight for the cruiserweight titles. These things truly are laughable in the sport of boxing. That means the cruiserweight, 200 pounds, Canelo wanted to fight him at 180. 180. Catches bullets with his teeth. Please. 180. And he wanted to consider himself, if he were to beat Badu Jack, as the cruiserweight champion. Do you know how fake that is? Because at the end of the day, if you deplete a man and emaciate a man and turn him into skeletal remains to the point where it's dangerous for his life, yeah, you have a strong chance of beating him, because you're not going to have to suffer. You're not going to have to go through all of those things. You're not going to have to look like Christian Bale in The Machinist in order to try to achieve victory. So you could really just focus on strategy and game planning and really focus. People that are insanely dehydrated, they have lapses, lethargy, where they struggle with simple things like focusing, bending down. You know what I mean? Sometimes it can become hard to sleep if you're dehydrated, because your body knows that something's wrong, right? And I'm not going to get into a health class, but I'm just telling you, this is extremely dangerous, and Canelo continues to show zero regard for the actual fighters. The fact that Canelo, just to fake it and make it look like he's a 5-6 division weight champion, is willing to do all these things, it shows you he only has regard for himself, and he's not worried about the fighters. That is actually insane, because Badu Jack, they said his manager and advisor or whatnot said he weighs usually about 210, 215. You want him to come down to 180 in a short space of time, 6-week, 8-week training camp. That could be very dangerous. And then on top of that, you got to ward off a guy who's trying to kill you and punch you in the face, right? And in the body and stuff like that. That's where it can become extremely dangerous. So I'm surprised more people aren't in awe and shocked with the demeanor that Canelo showed you. He doesn't care if Kovalev, that's why I said the fight was FAF. He doesn't care if Sergey Kovalev had time to rest. He doesn't care. He just wants to pad his record with these stats like, hey, I was a light heavyweight champ. But you've seen as soon, and here's another telltale sign, as soon as he fought an apt light heavyweight who wasn't washed and didn't have a quick turnaround, we've seen what happened. And that was Dimitri Bevo. And that's another thing. Speaking of Bevo, he's ducking Dimitri Bevo in a rematch. He could easily go out. He had an immediate rematch clause. He could have easily fought Dimitri Bevo by now, but he has chosen to fight a 41-year-old Golovkin, another health risk. You wanted to knock out Golovkin, still couldn't do it, but you waited and aged the man out. He looks like a shell of his former self. It was apparent before he fought Canelo a third time when he was fighting the likes of Ryota Murata and even Steve Rose. He was getting hit. He had long dry spells of inactivity. Don't know if that fire, that burning desire to be a fighter, you have to really want to get punched in the face for a living. You know what I mean? And you got guys like David Morrell Jr. and especially David Benavidez who really want to fight you, and that should be your dance partner, but he wants to fight possibly Charlo off a 2-year plus layoff and no experience at 168 and bring him to 168. And again, some fighters will do it because I'm not going to say Charlo's desperate. He has a nice crib and things like that, but he's always wanted a Canelo fight, and it's a big fight and a big opportunity. So some people will take the gamble. Luckily for Badu Jack, either himself, his family, or his team are sensible enough to know that Canelo was trying to game him and Canelo was trying to tax him and deplete him and make sure that he could secure a victory, and Badu's team or himself or whoever has the final say in his career, luckily he was smart enough to realize that and not fall for the mousetrap, because sometimes people fall for the mousetrap and they just go for anything like, oh, Canelo's a name, that's an opportunity, let's chance it and see how I feel. But more often than not, when you see how you feel night of the fight, you don't feel great when you waste your body and, you know, take it to hell and back, and that's just trying to make weight. So for me, Canelo's behavior is absolutely appalling, and I don't even understand if he even has fans left. I don't even understand how those fans can attempt to turn a blind eye, turn a cheek, and act like they don't see everything that I'm saying. It's really repulsive, because I'm talking about Badu Jack. His life could literally be in danger. I remember Badu Jack years ago, and I know Badu. Years ago, he fought a guy, and the guy, luckily he was able to beat him and knock him out, but the guy rehydrated something crazy, like 30 pounds. And this is what fighters are dealing with. You don't know. Canelo, I heard rumors that Canelo weighed 200 pounds years ago when he was not fighting. And this was when he was at 154. So there's a lot of fighters who are playing this game and crunching down to lighter divisions. And I think Canelo's one of them. He wants to do all these things and deplete guys like Badu Jack and call it a title fight and call it a cruiserweight fight. And that's why the fight folded, because again, Badu Jack's team is smart enough to not fall for that. And also, you have to talk about money. It's all about money. Badu Jack's not starving for cash. He's made a lot of money in the game. He was signed with Mayweather Promotions, etc. So that's another thing, because sometimes people, they fight for crumbs and peanuts, and then they get an opportunity and they're like, oh, I gotta take this. This is life-changing money. You know what I mean? This could really get me and my family settled. So luckily, the fighters that have made some coin in the sport, they don't have to go for that. They don't have to fall for anything. So I just wanted to stress this. I think Canelo is to the point, like clenbuterol, he had that in his system. Then they changed the level. The world of boxing seems to want to bend its back for Canelo Alvarez and act like they don't see these things. And then, speaking of double standards, I told you I would revisit the concept of double standards. To make matters worse, you got Canelo doing these things, and people, they say like, oh, Gervonta Davis, he taxed Ryan Garcia. Look at what Canelo's doing. You know, Ryan Garcia had a morning rehydration clause, and this is not something he's done throughout his career in all of his big fights. Canelo definitely has diva behavior where every single one of his fights. Catchweights, listen, catchweights have always existed in boxing, and sometimes they make sense, right? If two guys really want to fight and they're really far apart in weight, like, okay, that it makes sense, like, to meet in the middle, when meeting in the middle is actually the middle. Canelo is not, he's a champion at 168, super middleweight. He could avenge his loss to Bevo at 175, the division up, but he wants to look up several divisions instead of fighting these quality opponents in or around his actual division where he's a champion. And then he wants to bring people down and have a rehydration clause. Like, listen, for Badu Jack, the rehydration clause is the icing on the cake. It's bad enough Canelo wanted to fight him at 180 because he hasn't made those lower weight classes in several years at this point. He just beat Makbook Air to become a champion. But the rehydration clause is where it gets extremely dangerous. It gets dangerous because now you're really playing with it. You're stifling the amount that he can make and make up after doing a pivotal and, you know, an extensive weight cut. It shows you Canelo doesn't really care. And the other reason that I don't like it is because Canelo, he's already made a lot of money. He's made more than most guys will ever see in their whole career. And he chooses to play these games. It's not really even about boxing anymore. It's about him and about padding his record. And I just have to expose it so more people see it. Drop your thoughts in the comment section. Really, really not good for boxing. And I told you guys this. Canelo is not good for boxing. You're not making the moves that people want to see you make. Again, you got a ready-made David Benavidez fight. You speak English, he speaks English. You speak Spanish, he speaks Spanish. A guy who he had trouble making 168, but he's been doing good so far. He got a nutritionist or whatever, and that settled down. He's been calling you out. That's your mandatory. You're undisputed. Makes all the sense in the world. Even Badu Jack, after the fight fizzled out, he's saying, yeah, go ahead and fight David Benavidez. But Canelo, he wants to play games and do everything but. Canelo, he wants to trick the fans like, hey, I'm a 4 or 5 division champion. And you wonder why the legends of Mexico, like Juan Manuel Marquez and Nacho Beristain, the leyendas, they don't respect Canelo the same because look at the path he's walking. He's not doing what they had to do. Like, to get respect and garner respect, Marquez had to fight Pacquiao 4 times, knocking him out in the 4th fight and brutally knocking him out. You know, that's how he had to get respect. He had to fight the Chris Johns, awkward guys from Indonesia, and fight Marco Antonio Barreras and fight dangerous fights, younger guys like Katsidas and Mike Alvarado and Tim Bradley. He had to fight all these top guys. He had to fight Floyd Mayweather. Easy work. I ain't got to worry about it. Hard work. Dedication. Like, he had to do these things to solidify himself as a Mexican legend. Canelo wants to walk this tightrope of maybe take a semi or dangerous fight and then like kick his feet up and do all this other weird stuff in between. That's cap. Canelo Alvarez strikes again. I'm the best in the business. We unpack. Introducing Super Thanks. Right here on the official Boxingego YouTube. Super Thanks allows you, the viewers, to show a little bit of extra gratitude, which enables me as a full-time content creator to push out the content you need in the world of boxing. Underneath all the videos, you will see a heart with the $sign in it. You can enter any amount that you find suitable as a super thanks. A brand new interactive and colorful way to get your comments highlighted and noticed by not only myself, but other people on the YouTube platform. Super thanks, a unique and cool way to show and applaud us full-time content creators. Hopefully you guys enjoy the content. Super thanks. The future is now. The Hibernation 5s by Kenichi Bear. Hybrid gaming and lifestyle headphones. Out of the box, you can connect to any console or PC. Bluetooth ready with a low latency USB adapter, color RGB, and extreme bass mode. The Hibernation 5s adjust to you. Whether you need a gaming, travel, gym, or lifestyle headphones, the Hibernations got you covered. The new Hibernation 5s, link in the description. Customize the way you hear the world. Welcome to to the nation. Are you tired of your YouTube videos not getting any views? Well, consider TubeBuddy. I've used TubeBuddy for years to scale up my YouTube channel. Now we're sitting over 200,000 subscribers. TubeBuddy is a browser extension that offers a ton of built-in productivity and time-saving services to take your channel to the next level. Use my link in the description to get started with TubeBuddy and level up your channel faster. We working.